Sarah's Home Cooking. We're going to talk about the things that we're going to be making next week. We are going to make a beef stew with vegetables and spices. Now, this comes from Cantaline, I think from the Spaniards. So, this is going to be a very unusual one that we're going to have. You're not going to believe what's in it, but they put chocolate in it. So, this will be interesting for us to try for the first time. I haven't made that one, so that's a new one. Now, I have a chicken in the freezer, and I think this would go very nicely with it. Broccoli risotto with Parmigiano as a side dish. I think it'd be very, very interesting. I know somebody clicked on it, then clicked off, but that's okay. That's life. I assume a lot of you are working or have other things to do this afternoon, so it's, I understanding in that aspect, okay? And this one we're going to have to it's called a lazy pot roast, and it looks very interesting. So we're going to try this one. They call it an old-fashioned pot roast. So this will be something that will bring back memories if your grandmother made it or your mother. And here we have, I want to see, I don't know if I can find brand, but we're going to work on this and see if I can find brand, but it's a date brand muffins I want to make. And also, this dish has really got me going. This is a herbed seafood lasagna with a tomato cream sauce. Okay? So that's what I'm going to be making next week. Right now I'm trying to make something, but it's so cold in the house. But at least we hit 31 and we're very, very close to it. Now, I have a few minutes. If you wish to chat, I am here. If you don't wish to chat, that's all right. I'll just wait a couple of minutes. And if nobody comes, then I'll just say bye-bye for now and enjoy the weather. It's getting warmer. I have to say it's getting warmer, though. I know in the south it's still very, very cold with all that snow. So I know you've got your hands full. I have it up here when I have to shovel, and it drives me crazy at times. Now, so we're going to be close to 32. I think it's 31 or 32. And my son's finally left, so it was quiet enough so I could talk. Okay, here's everybody coming. Hello, Kitty? To me? Okay, but my name is Sandra. And hello, unknown. Do you have any questions? I figured. Hello. I figured this is a time I'm learning. Hi. I am hello to everybody. I'm learning to see how it goes if I should put a chat up on level 3 on my YouTube channel. So right now it's out to see how it goes. This is time to chat and see how people want to talk and get to know each other. That's the only way we're going to know. I am sorry, I do not, the only language I read is English. Thank you so much. I am doing great. I've had enough apple cider vinegar and water. My throat finally came back, so I'm really happy about that. I finally am clean of this cold. We got one more son sick, and then it's out of this house, so I feel good about that. Has anybody shoveled snow? I'm sure a whole lot of you have. I mean, I still have the extra heaters on in the house because it's really cold still, and we still have a cold night. But tomorrow, we're going to be definitely above 32 degrees. Yay, thank God. Last time this happened, about 3-4 years ago, didn't we have a blast of freezing air that just wrapped up in America? We had that really cold spell. I think we did. I'm not sure. I think it was 3-4 years ago. What translator? If my husband was here, he'd translate. I mean, he spoke 4 or 5 languages. I am sure you have to. Yeah, the animals. Yeah, I've been feeding the strays outside. I mean, we've got a lot of strays. People throw their animals out. But what's a translator? Where do you get that? Mr. Google, I go to Google. What do I look just for a translator and that'll take care of that? I'm waiting for him to answer me to make sure I could do this. Okay. Well, I can't Google because I'm on the phone with you right now, so I can't do that. Okay. So, is there anything you want to talk about? The code? Yes, I know it's code everywhere. And my girlfriend's even more north than I am, so I know she's freezing up there. God. I'll have to call her tonight and see how she's doing. Hello to all of you. Where are you from? I'm in Staten Island, New York. Where are you guys from? I know it takes time to go through. Alabama. I haven't been to Alabama in many, many years. Detroit. Never been to Detroit. Okay. Oh, you're cold in Detroit. You're high like I am. Yeah, it's very chilly there. South Bend, Indiana. Never been to Indiana. But that's up there too. Yeah, you'll be cold too. We're all going to be cold. Well, hope this will end next week and we'll be above 32 again. And look at it this way. We only have 6 more weeks and spring is around the corner. Oh God, yes, I agree with you. We're hitting 31. We've been in single digits. I mean, I was pulling blankets out on top of blankets. I have the house at 65, but still, the cold, it just seemed to wiggle in wherever you could. And that's been bad. I said, God, I can feel it. If it's not coming through the floors, it's coming through somewhere. And I said, look and see, where are you coming from? But it's really, really bad. But today is nice. I went out, took care of some of the trash, and it was more comfortable. Okay. I'm waiting. I'm patient. What is that? A speaker? No, that's a right. What's the little thing that's like a rectangle? It seems to have stars on the side and it's got a blue dot on it. What does that mean? Does anybody know? I don't know. It's right there on the screen and I don't know what it is. I know it has a speaker on it, but I'm talking so I can hear myself. But I don't know what this other thing is. Well, listen, I'll let you all go. Let's see, 2. It's 2 here. That would be 10. 2 would be 1. Should be lunchtime in the mountain, and 11. I know, but what is the little like rectangle that has like 3 stars around it and a blue dot? What does that mean? Kim, do you know what that means? Because it's right there on the screen. I can see it right there. I just don't know what it is. Let's see. It's 2 here. So in Texas, it would be 1. Mountain would be 12. They're just now having lunch then. And the Pacific will be having theirs shortly. Press it. You can't see that, so I don't know. Sorry. Well, when I do a video, it has this like little line on the side like this, and in it, it has an arrow going this way and an arrow going this way. Then it has a speaker, and then it has this other thing with a blue dot on it, and then underneath, it's got a square with 3 dots on it. And I don't know what that means either. But if I press it, I might not know what it does. I'll practice on that when we have a practice. But right now, I'm using this time to see how chat time goes. If I put up a chat, do you wish to talk? What do you wish to talk about? So in that way, if I put it up there, I'll know. So this is an experiment to see how this goes after I finish telling you what we're going to have. It's an experiment to see. Have no fear. Oh, yeah, I got lots of them. Believe you me, every time I push a button on the phone or on that computer, my son spends both of them spend 2 to 3 days to fix what I've done. And they said, what did you do? I said, I pressed a button, but it disappeared. The whole page disappeared. I don't know what I do. I like to, well, you know, I like to cook, as you can see. Baking is my top specialty in it. I like to crochet. I like to knit, embroider, tapestry. I'm learning Armenian lace, and I'm not real good at that one. And I love plants, and I love to feed animals and things like that. I'm more of a homebody around the house. My husband used to drag me out. How many people you cook usually? It used to be 4 till my husband died, but now it's just my sons and I, and they are big eaters. But in my spare time, I like to craft a lot. And I used to like walking in the park, and I love plants. They don't love me, though. I kill everything. My husband bought me over 50 plants, and I murdered them all. So I'm not real good with plants, but I do love plants. I like gardening, but I don't have a green thumb because the gopher and the squirrels and the birds eat everything I grow, so I don't get anything. Hello, Ruben. Yeah, that's me. So it's just my 2 sons and I now. And now my cats are getting picky. We had lox and bagels. They wanted the lox. They were fighting me for the lox. I said, look, it's my lox. I'm the one paying $20, $30 for this, okay? We don't have it often. But anyway, Taffy, so I said, I'll put 1 piece aside for you guys. That's all you're going to get. And every morning, I guess you can hear Taffy. His brother is more quiet, but Taffy's the talker. If you hear a cat in the background, he's right at my feet demanding whatever I'm cooking, he has to have. And I said, no, you're not getting that. He fights me. You'd think I'd be the boss in the house, but I'm not. I mean, my cats run me. I guess that's always with animals. They'll do it. So, is there anything else you guys like to know, or is that it? Just let me know if you like to have a chat time, and that's what I need to know. Your sons are very lucky with a mom that cooks such interesting, delicious foods every day from scratch. Thank you. If I bake from scratch, it always ends up being a dog, biscuit, or squirrel, or bird. I can't bake to save my life. Baking is one of the hardest things, it seems, people to learn, because most of your cooking terminologies are literally for baking. Most people don't know that. That's why I show you that you need forks, or you need special things that you do. So when it comes out, that's why my videos are so long. I actually walk you through all the steps, and I use the terminology. So when you see the terminologies, you'll be able to do it. Now, biscuits, the first ones I had, they could not be any harder than ones I did. I think you could have killed somebody if you threw one of my biscuits when I first made them. But I'm much better at it, and I've had years of practice with it. But I try to give you the basic recipe and then move forward from it. The whole thing with biscuit is not to handle it too much. Breads, you can beat them to death and they'll still rise as long as it's not cold. Muffins you have to be careful with, but most of the terminologies in cooking is for baking. That's why. If you don't learn those terminologies, you can't read the recipes and you can't understand. But that's why if I go to make a cake, I want you to see what they mean when they say cream the butter and the sugar, or when they say how to separate the eggs, or what whipping means, just different terminologies. Like most people don't know that all-purpose flour is literally made from winter wheat and summer wheat. I have always loved baking. That's my specialty. Matter of fact, my maiden name is Baker, and I live up to that name. My mother started me baking when I was very, very little. I used to remember climbing into the kitchen chair just so I could grease the pans. That was my first job actually in the kitchen, was greasing pans. But I love baking. There was a period when my husband was extremely sick. My cooking I didn't do much cooking at all because he couldn't eat this and he couldn't eat that. He ate that, his stomach got upset. This went on, and I just gave up. There were like only 5 meals we could have. But now that he's passed, I went back to it. But I've always been cooking like this. That's why I have a ton of cookbooks over there. Matter of fact, I'll turn you and show them to you. Let's see if you can see them. You see that shelf over there? Those are my cookbooks. Those are the cookbooks. And I have some in another room. I don't get rid of my cookbooks. I keep them. Yeah. So what I do is we'll go to Spain. Sometimes we go to Italy, France. Sometimes we go into different states. It just depends upon which cookbook I pull. Like paella, I have a whole book on paellas and different ones to always have. Yeah, it is a great collection. And I have some I'll show you one cookbook that I'll never use. I doubt it, but knowing me, I might try it. Now, this little book, I doubt I will ever use. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I don't even have all my cookbooks. Some people stole some of my cookbooks. This is the only cookbook I will probably never work because it's how to make mead, homemade honey wines. That's it. I doubt if I'll ever use this cookbook, but I had to get it. But in the other cookbooks, there's some cookbooks I haven't broken into because they have instant stuff into it. One is Asian and I don't have a wok, so I can't do that. I can't. But this one, I've read it. And I said, oh, it sounds pretty easy. And I said, then it gives me everything I need to buy. And I said, look, I can't even afford my paella 15-inch pan I need. So I said, this is the one cookbook that I'll probably never get to, but at least I have it. Okay. Amazing to have, though. Yes, it is. And if you read the cookbooks, you'd be surprised what you find. I found one that has pumpkin pasta in it. It's got a whole bunch of different pastas in it. You know, instead of just the spinach and the wheat. Let's see, is this the book that has it? Hold on, I'll let you know. I think this is the book. Oh, come on. But this one, there was one, I don't think this is it. But I have a cookbook that has like 7, 8 different pastas in it. They said pumpkin spot. I remember the pumpkin one because it stood out. And I said, pumpkin pasta? I would never have thought of it. But this isn't the cookbook. I thought this was, but it's not. But anyway, I lost that one again. I'll find it. It's in that bookshelf over there somewhere. But it is a passion that I think my mother instilled in me because she got me into the kitchen so early, just like she got me into sewing when I was very young and knitting. So this is just something I just sort of grew with it with crafts, and I kept on adding more crafts to it as I go along. I mean, I just learned tapestry, I think, 10 years ago. So it's like I just keep on learning. Though I'm 71, you just keep on learning. Don't stop. Oh, yes. Thrift shops are a great place to get those old cookbooks. Really? No, my mother and I do not cook at all alike. No. She had a specific way of cooking. She would not use stocks. I can't find this cookbook. This cookbook was like this thick. And I remember there was a recipe. This is the typical of how this cookbook was written. It had a recipe for English muffins. It said water, butter, milk, salt, yeast. It didn't give you any measurements. And it said rise twice, grill. Okay, now that's an old cookbook. It didn't have much in instructions, but it had it for meat, canning, smoking. It was a really thick cookbook, and it was green. It was well worn too. I remember that because it was passed down, but I can't find it. But I don't cook like my mother at all. She didn't use a discard. She didn't add powdered milk. She didn't use stocks. She didn't use, what else? All the whey, all of those things. As they started canning stuff, she started using canning goods. She quit canning. I remember when I was little, she was canning, and then she just slowly moved away from it and bought everything into the store. And when I started investigating and finding out about the preservatives, because at one time I think, did they put DDT? It was 2 chemicals they did. Let's see, I was in my mid-20s. I have to go back, wait a minute. In the 70s, these chemicals they put in to food, and they noticed they started having cancer in people, and it was coming up, and it was even in the vegetables, because when you bought the broccoli, it had a hole in the center of it, and it's not. So when you cut the stem of the broccoli, it should be solid. Well, it was cracked and open. They found out that was cancer. So we were told to always cut that part off, and I said, I'm not going to cut that part off. I'm going to sit there and slice it off. I was 19. Wait a minute, that would be not the 7th. Late 60s, when these chemicals came out, and I became extremely aware of the sensitivity of them and the problems that people had. And I just sort of slowly moved in a different direction from my mother. I said, no, this isn't working. We are supposed to live to 120. We are not supposed to be sick. We're not supposed to have the medical issues that we have today. Alzheimer's was not even heard of until very recently. Matter of fact, I think, when did they start adding aluminum to baking powder is very new. One of my cookbooks had it, and I was reading into it, and it said aluminum they did not use. This is why I walked away from baking powder and made my own baking powder, so I don't have that aluminum into it. And then I found out it was in the deodorants, so we don't use deodorants. Then they said it's in some toothpaste, and I'm moving in that direction away. Every time I try to move into a different direction to get away from this stuff, because we're not supposed to be sick. The deformities and stuff we're having. And now I just found out Puritan Pride, where I bought all of the things that I needed, now is incorporated. When you see a store and it goes incorporated, it means that the business has been bought over. And now they're putting out amino acids individually. Take this one or this one or this one. People don't understand. Amino acids are your proteins. They're all chained up together. If you get the protein and your digestive system's really working well, you'll get all of these amino acids. So I'm saying, why are you doing it? Why can't I find the calcium magnesium in the ratio 2-to-1? Why can't I find the A and D? So I'm going to be leaving this company because they don't sell what I have. They don't let me grow it out there in the yard. I mean, they eat it. The birds have eaten all my cherries. The gopher has had a field day on my vegetables, my salad greens. The only thing they leave me are raspberries and blackberries. That's it. That's all I get. I'm hoping I get some currants. I go out there. They eat it up. I barely get it in the ground. And it's this big, and they go snatch, and that's it. It's gone. Oh, yeah, that's what I go. They are extremely greedy. See, I told God, I said, look, Father, I'm going to try to have a garden, and I am going to share my food with the animals. Just don't let them get carried away. Since I said that prayer, I don't get anything. I even have wild cherries growing up in the front. No, the birds don't like the wild cherries. They want the sweet ones in the back. I have a peach tree before it got sick. Man, this squirrel was eating peaches like there was no tomorrow. I saw 4 peaches left. I said, good, I'm going to get these. He's not going to get these peaches, the squirrel. He put one in his mouth. He held on to one with his arm. And he tried to put the third one in his mouth and bite both of them, go up a tree. I looked at him. I said, now, aren't you being greedy? Do you know how many peaches I had on that tree? I can't win for losing with them. They love it, so I just let them go. And that's my life. Though I do make an effort, And I just look at it now that if I get anything, I'll be like, they left me last year. They left me the Jerusalem artichokes. Now that they left me, so I took them all. I don't know if you guys have that kind of problem, but I do. But they like what I have. They make it. They're getting fat. The birds, they're getting plump. I ran out of bird food. They're on my back door waiting. Come on, it's time to feed us. I said, I don't have any food till tomorrow. I got to go shopping. And they're there. I step outside and they look at me. They come right down and say, okay, where's the food? I said, I don't have any food. You got to wait till tomorrow. So that's what I go through. Then the cats come to the back and I say, I have 2 cats on the inside and I'm feeding my family, but I'm feeding everybody else in the neighborhood that's on 4 legs. The cats, gophers, squirrels. We even ended up with a stray dog in the yard. And I said, who do you belong to? I don't know. Anyway, at least they eat well and I can sit there and say they're good. Yeah, so that's why I sit there and I say, okay, I'll plant it. You guys eat it. Whatever you leave, I'll get it. But at least I get my blackberries, I get my raspberries, and they don't like Jerusalem artichokes. Oh, and another thing they don't like is rhubarb. A squirrel ate it and I found him dead. I was laughing. I said, I told you not to eat the leaves. You didn't listen to me. Dead as a doornail. I had to bury him in the back. Yeah, that grows all the time because nobody touches it. But this squirrel, because I didn't plant anything, he decided, it was he decided he was going to eat the rhubarb. And he went down. And I said, well, you're in heaven now, so you're not going to get anything next year. And I'm not going to put chicken wire up. No, I'm just going to let it go and pray that they, someday get kind enough to share. Probably not, but it's a wishful thinking. Yes, it is. It is. I enjoy them. I get up early in the morning before the sun, and I'll have some herbal tea because I can't have tea or coffee. And I was having mushroom coffee. Can't have that because I found out they sprayed it with the caffeine, and I said I can't have it. I sit out on the back porch and I watch them, and they come out. And they pretend like they don't see me. And I don't see them. I said, look, guys, I know you see me. So don't tell me you don't see me. But I sit there and I just watch them and they go to town. One time I saw a hawk, and that was the most beautiful thing to see him flying. He was about 15 feet ahead of me, and he turned his head and looked at me, and I looked up at him. And I said, don't worry, they're in the yard. You can take one when I'm out, I can always tell when he gets one because I got feathers all over the yard. But it's a soap opera. So, Kim, where are you from? Oh my goodness. So it must be evening time for you over there? Let's see, Netherlands. Yeah, you should be towards the evening hour now, I think. Because that's the morning. We got to go back the other way. Or early morning for you, I guess. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. It's probably 3 o'clock now. I'm not sure, but it should be about 3. Okay. Now, all of you have been talking. Let me know if you want me to have these chats, and I'll try to set up a specific time where we can chat and get to know each other. Okay? But I'm going to go now. I've got to finish putting my shopping list together. As you can see, I'm busy on it, but I got to finish it up. So I'll be shopping. Oh, I am in America. I am in the Northeast in New York. And the time is minutes of 3 p.m. Okay? So listen, I want all of you to be safe, Take care. For those of you who are in the evening, have a wonderful evening. It was nice chatting with you, Kim. Okay, and to all of you, do take care. And let me know if you like these chats, and I'll then set it up, okay, on a special day and try to get the hours right. If you have a special hour, let me know, and we'll try to work this out, okay? So I'm going to say bye-bye.